Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Cult Cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Pluto, and Pluto is actually in Capricorn, which is your 11th house of friendships, groups, and hopes and wishes. Alright, we have Leo, and that's actually your 6th house of work, daily routine, health, and I see quite a few Leo cards in your spread. And we have 2. So, second house energy for you guys is Aries, and that's going to relate to possession, self-worth, finances. So there could be a focus for you as far as that goes this month as well, which will kind of make sense because Jupiter basically just moved into Aries, which is your second house of finances. So could be a shift to energy there. All right, moving on to your main spread now. In the main situation position, we have the 4 of Wands, Aries energy, and 2 of Cups in reverse. And then the challenge position for that, we have the 10 of Swords. So what I'm getting with this dynamic primarily, it looks like there was 2 people that weren't on the same page, basically, right? So we have one person who looks like they have a vision of a lot of growth and expansion around the situation, right? And then to me, this card coming up in reverse says that 2 people aren't on the same page around the vision with something. And then the challenge here is one or the other side might be viewing that as a deal breaker, like, okay, the situation is over. But I feel like this is saying that that's not necessarily the case. So for some of you, it could just be as simple as the retrograde energies might be causing a confusion in the situation. But yeah, at the very least, it does look like, at least as of right now, you have 2 different people with different visions around the situation. For some of you, it can be around a romantic relationship, but it could be finances, friendships, you name it. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Moon, Temperance, which is the major arcana card for Sagittarius, and the 8 of Wands. So really what I'm seeing with these energies here, it could just be saying that by the time we have that full moon in Sagittarius, which is pretty much going to be right around the middle of June, then you might see some movement around the situation again. Which in a way that would kind of make sense too, because the Mercury retrograde will be over by then. It'll still be in its post-shadow period, but at the very least, this energy here might help clear up some communication between you and another person. And this can be around work too, given that for you guys, Sagittarius does relate to your career and social status. So yeah, a few different areas of life this could be impacting, but it definitely looks like there's a disconnect where 2 different sides have different visions for something, and then it looks like there could be some clarity coming around that for that full moon around the middle of June. All right, past position, we have the King of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy. For some of you, this could represent another person that you're dealing with who might have seemed very sure of themselves, but for others of you, this could represent your energy, where, so I'd say you're the one who had the 4 of Wands vision, like, oh yeah, we're totally going to expand, we're going to do this, that, and the other. And you were sure of that, right? And then the other person might not have been seeing it that way. So that could be where the disconnect was. But yeah, at the very least, it looks like someone in the past was very sure of the situation. So this is another indicator, like I said, for me, it could just be as simple as Mercury retrograde confusion playing a part in whatever this is. All right, for Resin Position, we have the Empress. So I feel like usually this could be Taurus or Libra energy since they're both ruled by Venus, but I usually view this as more the Taurus energy because it has a very earthy feel to it. And given that for you guys, that's your house of communication, I feel like this is saying that for some of you, the best bet might be to just sit back and be open to communication, right? So be open to anything you might receive, whether through flat out communication or at the bottom of the deck, we see the High Priestess too, or even intuitively, things that you might pick up on. That might be the key as opposed to just going out and acting on something right now. Because like I said, it looks like the energies might be a bit confusing right now. All right, and in your future position, we have the Judgment card. So this could definitely represent something coming back around, right? An opportunity that you may have thought was lost. usually it's because it's an unfinished cycle too. So, again, it could just be as simple as that, right? If there was a misunderstanding, maybe people go to separate ways because of that, right? Like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to move forward with this situation anymore, but okay, maybe cooler heads prevail, right? Or maybe a little time passes and maybe they come back to the table to negotiate, right? Like, okay, I had this vision for this. It seems like you have this other vision, right? Maybe there's some discussion that'll get you guys to meet in the middle. But yeah, it looks like something will come back around this month. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the world and the emperor. So interestingly enough, seeing the Two of Cups in the reverse position could lead me to think that maybe it was you guys, since you're also Cup energy, who might have had a different vision for something. But I feel like this might actually be saying that you could represent the Aries energy there, and that you're the ones who are pretty sure of yourselves, right? And it could be the other party who had the misunderstanding of where things were going. But yeah, this looks like you're feeling ready to consider it completed, right, and move on to the next thing. Possibly this can be around finances for you guys, and if that's the case, looks like you will be seeing some financial successes this month. All right, in the environment position, we have a few cards. We have the Ten of Pentacles, Virgo energy, Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and Knight of Pentacles, so Virgo energy again there too. So yeah, this could be around some kind of negotiations for sure, possibly related to finances, right? And with the Ten of Pentacles energy there, immediately followed by the Two of Pentacles, maybe there's some kind of hold up there, right? So could just be saying, so like I said, let's say this was around some kind of a business deal, right? And that's where, oh yeah, we're totally going to move forward with this project, right? And then the other party might say, actually, we don't know, right? So the Two of Cups energy, this could also be them with the Two of Pentacles, where they're not sure, right? Like might be having second thoughts, thinking about backing out, or whatever the case may be. With the Knight of Pentacles, though, I feel like this is saying eventually they will come forward and proceed with this, but it's going to probably take them a while because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. So for some of you, it could even say it might take as far as all the way to the Virgo full moon. Virgo new moon. But I doubt that's the case. I feel like this is just saying that they're going to move a little slower than you might like, but at the very least, it looks like you guys can clear the air around the situation. So it could be as simple as that, right? Maybe you guys were in agreement on a lot of the situation, but maybe it was more of the start time that could have been the issue, right? You were like, all right, let's roll, ready to roll right now. This person, given as the Two of Cups in reverse, let's say maybe they had Cancer season in mind. Like, oh, I thought we were going to start this in July, right? So you're like, oh, June 1st, I'm ready to roll. They're like, actually, hold on. We actually thought we were going to start in July. So that's what I'm saying. I'm feeling even with that Ten of Swords in the challenge position, it doesn't feel like a huge ending. I feel like it's more of a misunderstanding. It might feel like an ending initially, but then it could just be, oh, it comes down to it was a minor misunderstanding and you guys can get back on the same page. All right, so in the hopes or fears position, we have Justice, which is Libra energy, and Death, which is Scorpio energy. So seeing these two back to back now, this could represent a hope and this a fear, possibly, right? That's one way it could play out. But either way, you could even see the two energies playing together, where again, I feel like you're hoping for balance around the situation, right? Obviously, like I said, it looks like two parties aren't on the same page around what to do with a certain situation. So for some of you, that could be saying that you might be fearing an ending, right? Like I said with that Ten of Swords, they're like, oh, I guess this might be the end of the situation. If I was you, like I said, some of you might want it to end, right? Because you're like, okay, well, they're not going to do things the way that we originally agreed upon. I'm not interested, right? So could be digging your feet on a little bit in a certain way. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Six of Wands, Leo energy, and the Page of Swords. So yeah, this is Leo energy here, and we did see that come up in your dice. And Leo energy, like I mentioned for you guys, can point to work. So for a lot of you, this could be more of a financial thing. And if that's the case, I feel like this is saying that you will get the positive news there that you're looking for. But yeah, just might take a while to actually hear the communication around what the situation is. So Yeah, like I said, in a way, this almost seems like maybe a textbook Mercury retrograde type of situation where really it was just two people might have had a similar goal, but it was more of one person might have been ready to start it right now, and the other person was thinking, oh, I thought this was something that was going to happen more down the line, right? So it seems primarily financially related, but that might even be a relationship, let's say, right? Where maybe the two, maybe you're dating someone and you guys have been dating for a few months and maybe you discussed moving in together, right? And you might have come away from the conversation thinking, oh, we're definitely going to do it, right? And the other person might have viewed it as more of, oh, yeah, okay, well, now we've planted that seed and now we'll start to put those steps in place, right? But they might see it as something that would happen further down the line. Like, okay, well, now I'm going to consider when does my lease run out, right? When will we have to go look for a new place? Things along those lines, whereas you're like, okay, cool, let's do it tomorrow, so, or vice versa. So it just seems like a disconnect in that regard. Okay, moving on to your four agreements card. We have always do your best. Do your best because you want to. So let's see what it says. Okay, get everything in the frame there. It says when you do your, you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. So interesting there because so for some of you, maybe it's you guys who are feeling pressured around a certain situation, right? And then it could just be saying if that's the case, and then maybe that's what that Empress energy is saying too. Just sit back, do what you're comfortable with, and let everything else fall into place in that regard. All right, moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Regeneration. Here's the artwork, and the number is 46. So yeah, this definitely makes me think of the Judgment energy there too. So yeah, like I said, it looks like this could just be a misunderstanding and things can get back on track. Assuming you guys want that, because like I said, some of you might just be ready to leave it all behind anyway. Okay. Essential meanings, it says rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. The Oracle's message. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So yeah, it definitely seems to support the theme of what I was saying there, where like I said, it might have seemed like the situation was an ending, but I had a feeling it might not have been, and then the rest of the energy seemed to support that as well. So hopefully that message resonated. The relationship message says the world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death, love after loss, and in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. So yeah, pretty positive message there. And like I said, if this is more of a one-to-one relationship thing, it definitely seems like there is a disconnect of some kind. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it looks like it's more of just the pace that things were going, and that can be corrected. The prosperity message says, what happens when it appears you failed at something? Do you see the beauty in the lesson? The understanding that arises from difficulties is like a seed that lies dormant for a time. Then, once it germinates into your subconscious, it pushes through into your awareness. It is becoming apparent that there is a new you, a new start. A more powerful version and form of what you began to plant in the garden of your imagination has surfaced. You are ripe for success. New opportunities, much better than those that came before, appear like gifts from the gods. Now is one of those times when out of seeming loss and failure comes remarkable abundance. Do not dwell on the past because you really are experiencing a rebirth. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there too. And again, that makes me think of the fact that, like I said, you guys just have Jupiter moved into your second house of finances. It's going to eventually retrograde back into your sign for a bit and then move on more of a permanent basis into Aries. But even that alone might be playing a part in some of this too. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. This is your mudra here. It's the Chin mudra, and the keyword for it is awareness. All right, and if If you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, you can. But it says sharpens the intellect, reduces daydreaming and mental fantasy during meditation, lifts depression, opens the lower lobes of the lungs, especially when accompanied by deep diaphragmatic breathing. So if that sounds like a Mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the name of it in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.